Welcome to the in-house summer training sessions on using Simulink. Before I start, I would like to recite few lines written by me. Amid COVID-19 taking its toll, learn to live with the new normal and make digital learning your goal. I have been recently shortlisted for the Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Teachers Excellence Award 2020 courtesy All India Council for Technical Education. Okay, now let's start summer training sessions on using Simulink. This is our lecture 2, how to work with Simulink. In contrast to text-based programming languages, Simulink provides a quick way of developing our model. It has integrated solvers. Just a brief review of our previous lecture. Open blank model window, also called as Simulink editor window. Now, to create a new model window, either click on this new model tool strip shortcut icon or select this, click on this file menu and then select new in order to open a new model file. Otherwise, we can also use Ctrl+N to open a new model window. This lecture will make you understand how to manipulate the basic blocks and signal line connections, how to add comments into the model, and how to run simulations. Now let's start. Okay. Lecture 2. Okay, fine. Let me For creating our model, we need to drag. The step 1 is we need to drag and drop the desired block into the model. We need to drag and drop the desired block into a new model window. Now, to drag a block, position the mouse cursor over the block icon, then press and hold. Press and hold down the left mouse button. Now move the cursor into the model window and then release the mouse button. This way you will be able to drop your block onto the model. Now, if it is needed to resize or move the blocks for a better appearance, what will we do? Now first, to resize a block, we need to first select the block. How can we select the block? Click left mouse button on the block while the mouse cursor or pointer is on the block. You will see that little square, filled square appears on the corners of the block, as we can see in this figure. These are called as selection lines, fill square. Now put the pointer on any one of the corner, press the left mouse button and keep it pressed down. Now drag the mouse and release the mouse button when the block has the desired size. So to resize a block, we need to drag a corner or selection handles. Now to move a block, again we have to first select it in the similar manner, then put the pointer inside the block, press the left mouse button down and keep it pressed down, and you can drag the block to any desired position, and when you place it to the desired position, release the mouse button. So this way we can resize and move blocks. Now suppose if we wish to change the orientation of the blocks, how can we do this? Okay, this can be done by right clicking on the block. Position the cursor on the block, click the right mouse button, context based menu appears. From this menu, select rotate and flip, and then select flip block. So suppose if you have selected the gain block, when you flip it, as you can see that by default input port is on the left side, output port is on the right side. But when you flip it, now you can see output port is now present on the left side and input port is on the right side. You may need to flip blocks when you are using them in feedback loops. When you have to model feedback loops in Simulink, then it may be required to flip the blocks. This is the context sensitive menu. Okay, fine. Now, if we want to delete block, again you can access this delete option from the context based menu, and to open context based menu we need to right click on the block. Okay, there is another way. Select the block to be deleted and press the delete or backspace key. Otherwise you can also first select the edit menu and then select clear or cut sub menu. Simulink menu bar. From the Simulink menu, editor window, menu bar. Okay, if we want to select a single block, simply click left mouse button on it. But if we want to select a few blocks together, the easiest way is to drag a box around the blocks and then place the mouse button. First you place the cursor on an unoccupied area in the canvas which may be near to those blocks which you have to select, and then drag a box around those blocks and then release the mouse button, so those blocks will get selected. Context based menu, it is not always displayed on the screen. When you right click on the canvas or any object, then it will appear. Now if we click the right mouse button over the canvas, okay, the context based menu displayed, and the commands in this menu can be applied to a model or library as a whole. But if we click the right mouse button over an object, then the contents of this context sensitive menu depend on whether a block or line or any annotation or other object is selected, and the commands in that menu can be applied only to the selected object. Fine. Now moving on to the next slide. Now step 2, while creating a model in Simulink, we need to modify the block parameters. Listen carefully. Every block has default parameter values. So to access those parameter values, we need to open the block parameters dialog window. So, okay, suppose now take an example of a constant block. The constant block generates a, this is a function of a constant block. It generates a real or complex constant value. The constant output value is displayed in the middle of the block with a default value of 1. As you can see, it's a constant block. In the middle, 1 is displayed. It is the value of the constant parameter by default. Now, drag and drop the constant block. We can drag and drop it from the either the commonly used block sublibrary or the sources library into a model window. Now, if we want to change its default parameter values, double click on the block placed already in the model window. This action will open up the parameters, block parameters dialog box, as you can see here in this slide. So this is the first, you can see there are two tabs, main and signal attributes. By default, this main tab is highlighted, and this is the constant value field text box. Here we can enter the parameter value of the constant parameter. We can enter the value of the constant parameter. By default, interpret vector parameter as one dimensional box is checked or right ticked. Sample time is infinity. If we do not want to change its default settings, then simply click OK. Otherwise, if we want to enter a new value for the constant value parameter, then you delete it and type in another constant value. You can type 2, you can type 3, or whatever may be desired. And when you type another value, you will see that this apply button will get highlighted. So to apply the changes, first click apply and then click OK, and you will see here in the middle of the block a new constant value will be displayed. Now here we can also use variable names. Say we can enter or type A, so that these variables can be defined in the MATLAB workspace. Okay, they can be defined as scalar or vector using MATLAB syntax. Type or define these vectors in the command window as a scalar or vector using MATLAB syntax. So that's why I had told you earlier that data can be imported from the MATLAB workspace. Now, next slide. Okay. Now, after dragging and dropping the blocks into the model window, we need to connect these blocks with signal lines. How to draw a line between blocks? To connect the output port of one block to the input port of another block, first position the mouse cursor over the source block's output port. Okay, the cursor shape changes to a crosshair. So you can see the cursor shape changes to a crosshair. Now press and hold down the left mouse button. Okay, now drag the mouse cursor or pointer to the desired destination block target block's input port. Okay, we can position the cursor on the block, near the port, or in the block. Okay, the cursor shape changes to crosshair. Now release the mouse button. we will see that the port symbols now are replaced by a solid line with an arrow displaying the direction of the signal flow. So we can see a filled black arrowhead. It means that the blocks are properly connected. If the blocks are not properly connected, then we will see here an open arrowhead, or you can see broken line will be seen. Open arrowhead or broken line means, or it indicates that the blocks are not properly connected. Now, how to fix an open signal? Treat this open arrowhead as an output terminal and continue drawing the line to the input terminal in the same manner as I just explained you. Okay. So now, properly connected signal. Simulink is very easy to use. When drawing lines, we need not to worry about the path we follow. The lines will route themselves automatically. When we reposition the blocks, when we move them, lines will automatically reroute themselves and we need not to be worried about this. Lines, signal lines transmit signals in the direction indicated by the arrow. Lines must always transmit signals from the output terminal of one block to the input terminal of another block. Next is connecting a wire to another block. Now, this is called as drawing a branch line. A branch line is a line that starts from an existing line and carries its signal to the input port of a block. Both the existing line and branch line carry the same signal. So, using branch lines, it is possible to cause one signal to be carried to more than one block. Now, how to add a branch line? Step 1. Place the cursor or mouse pointer on the line where we want the branch line to start. Suppose we want to start the branch line from this point. Place your mouse cursor here. Now, while holding down the control key, press and hold down the left mouse button. Then drag the pointer to the input port of the target block. Okay. Then release the mouse button as well as the control key. This way you can branch your signal. Now both these blocks will get the same signal. Otherwise, there's one more way. You can use the right mouse button instead of holding down the left mouse button and the control key. Now how to add annotations, or you can say how to add comments. If we want to add comments, basically, then it's very simple. Annotations provide textual information about a model, about any signal line. So we can add an annotation to an unoccupied area of our block diagram. So to add annotation, we need to double click on an unoccupied area in the canvas. A small rectangle appears and the cursor changes to an insertion point. Here we can type name, comment of our use, and each line is centered within the rectangle that surrounds the annotation. We can also move this comments or annotations by dragging it to a new location. So double click on the surface in order to write labels or commands in your model block diagram. Double click here and then type this as the label. Now we can also change the name of the blocks again by double clicking on this name and change the default block names or labels. Then the next step is how to run simulations to view the output. So first of all, we need to set simulation parameters by first selecting the simulation menu and then configuration parameters submenu. Okay, now we can set these parameters: start time and stop time for the simulation, what kind of solver to be used, and then fixed step, variable step. Okay. Start time, stop time, step size. These three parameters which we can enter as per our own choice, or we can run the simulation with default parameters also. This step size parameter is simulation sample time. If you choose it to be very less than the period of the input signal, you will get a better display of the output. The default stop time, by default Simulink uses stop time, or you can say simulation run time 10. It will run the simulation for 10 seconds, but this time value actually has no unit. The time unit in Simulink depends on how the equations are constructed. Now, how to run the simulation? To run the simulation, we need to click on the Run button. This is Run Simulink tool strip shortcut icon. Okay. Alternatively, we can first choose the simulation menu and then start submenu from this simulation menu and run the simulation. By default, our simulation will run for 10 seconds, and we can change it, this parameter, by selecting, as I just told you, simulation and then configuration parameters. Okay, so this is all for today's lecture. I hope you must have understood the things, and I will upload this lecture on my YouTube channel so that you can access it later. So thank you so much for listening me, and I wish you all the best. Thank you so much.